Yeah, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. We're going to do a two-part series here on the Lockheed T-33 T-Bird. So this is a vintage 1947 jet. So we're going to have a look at it. The developer is Any Builds, and they just recently released a 2024 version of the aircraft along with an update to 2020. It's also currently on offer. So if you like older jets, warbirds, this has quite a bit to offer. So we're going to have a look at it. We're going to take a quick look at the cockpit, and we'll have a quick circuit here, and then we'll come back and do a cold and dark. But wanted to just do a quick intro in terms of getting a sense for what you might be getting bang for buck wise, and I wanted to get that out since it is on offer. So that will be going away in a few days. So at any rate, we're going to take a look at the T-33. Okay, so we're sitting on the ramp here at Nellis. So we're going to do our walk around with the T-33. Let's go ahead and get rid of the canopy cover here. And it looks like I had the chocks gone. All right. Playing games with the controller. Let's get the gear pins. I tend to be a little fiddly. There we go, engine covers. And I think we got the gear pins. All right, there we go. We're ready to rock. All right, let's walk back here and just take a look at the aircraft itself. It looks very, very good. All right, so we're in one of the training liveries today. We're in the Acemaker 1. There's also a Thunderbirds livery, which is quite cool. Probably should have used that since we're here at Nellis. Anyway, I think this gives you a good sense for what you're getting for your money in terms of external texturing. I see absolutely zilch to complain about. And by the way, I'll just briefly mention we're here at Freeware from Flightsim.to Nellis Air Force Base. Go download this if you have interest. It is quite well done. It has been recently updated. So here we go. Jump in the plane. Okay, so we're not going to do a comprehensive look at this. We're going to take a peek at the key features here and then take it up and hopefully successfully land this bird. We'll do a cold and dark start video separately. I did want to point out a few things here. So one, you do have the choice between this analog cockpit and a modern variant. So if you click on this bolt left hand side of the eyebrow here, it will toggle you back and forth. I won't be taking advantage of this one too much unless I'm doing a group flight. If I'm tearing around the sky by myself, I'm probably using the analog stuff. All right, so that's one thing that you won't have to wrestle with in terms of locating. The other is, and it's not obvious, is this bolt here on the left-hand side. That's for your electronic flight bag, which is a cell phone. But there we go. All right, so you do have a map. You've got comm frequencies handy here. Especially useful, I guess, if you're using the modern cockpit. Ground options. You do have the, if you bought this from any builds, it may be available from the store-bought version too. You got rockets and bombs now, and a flare dispenser that you can add, or a luggage pod, and you can put out the ladder. So there's that. All right, back to the home. Look at other options we have here. Classic cockpit, no or yes, and again, that's the same as clicking on this this bolt on the eyebrow. So anyway, just wanted to raise awareness in terms of that being available to you. And we'll click on the bolt again and get that out of our way. So this aircraft just has a storied history, and we'll leave the bulk of it to the cold and dark. But if you're into vintage jets, this is a good one. So it has some unique handling characteristics in its modeling, and some interesting engine behavior. Also, in looking at the documentation from any builds, they have gone to some depth in terms of modeling the fuel system. So be mindful of that as you are seeking flight adventures. You could get yourself into an out of balance situation. So there we go. With that, we're going to cheat. And press Control E and get this plane started up. And the documented startup procedures from any builds does work, so already tested that out. We're just going to save time in today's video. The other interesting thing is that the engine takes a bit of time to spin up. We'll let it get stabilized, and then we'll take the RPM up to, I think what it recommends in the documentation is about 60%, just to get things going. Probably want to uncage our attitude indicator. That might be a good thing. All right, so it looks like engine exhaust now is in the green. That's good. Let's spin it up a little bit. So the manual also does recommend pushing the throttle slowly until you get beyond the 60% mark. You can have a flame out. So I haven't successfully gotten a flame out yet, but I really haven't tried all that hard. Alright, we'll spool back down here. We definitely don't want that much RPM during our taxi. Okay. So I think what we'll do is what we have been doing in the past, right? Just because this is not the cold and dark, we can still take a look at the built-in cameras. Alright, so let's see what we got here. This is shift 1. Put you square down in the cockpit, centered up. Shift 2. A little bit more accessibility in terms of some of the switches on the pilot left. Shift 3, lower pedestal or lower middle. Option 4 takes you to the right-hand side of the cockpit. This is where you're going to find battery, generator, all those kinds of fun things. All right, 7, slightly different angle here. 8, 9, I guess to get to the breakers. 0, and then we'll center our view back up. Okay, so there we go. You can decide whether or not you need custom cameras. I would recommend. All right. Microsoft does look like they have done some work in terms of at least some of the mouse sensitivity and moving around, so this appears to be better. At any rate, all right, so what we're going to do next is we'll go ahead and save a little bit of video time here and not bore you with the taxi. I would say just take your time, go slow, and we'll meet you at the end of the runway for our takeoff. So we'll be back in a snap. Okay, here we are at the end of the runway here at Nellis. So for takeoff, flaps 33 degrees, they are set. Parking brake is set. Tow brakes engaged. We'll spool up the engine. Rotate speed 115 or higher. And we're going to be gentle on making any steering adjustments because it will snap right or left. So gentle is the key here. Engine run up to about 95. Parking brake is off. Tow brakes released. And we'll pull up here. I think the takeoff's rotate speed really is in the 120 neighborhood as it's modeled here, because it's, if you get to 115 and do it, then sometimes you can dolphin or porpoise, I guess. All right, gear is up. Flaps are coming up. And we'll swing ourselves around here. Come back on the throttle. Again, gentle. It will flame out. You do need to manage your fuel for longer flights. This is just a circuit, so we should be good. Take us up here for a minute, and then we'll turn ourselves to getting lined up for finals, and then we will call it until we do the cold and dark. For landing, recommended flaps full. Approach speed about 120. If you get too slow, you will drop like a rock. All right, so we'll make a little bit of a climb here. Aileron roll, and then just general in-flight kind of characteristics. Smooth action on the controls. All right, let's do a right aileron roll, and we'll do that smoothly. Kick the rudder hard. That will tend to skid a bit. All right, we're at 290 miles an hour. And the aircraft does have speed brakes, which I'll deploy now. And you can see our airspeed rapidly dropping off here. Our airspeed managed here a little bit for landing. All right. So, what do I think of the T-33? I'm glad I bought it. I bought it with my own money, so we are not sponsored. It's currently on offer. And if you don't have it, I recommend you pick it up. All right. With that, if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Love to have you as a member of the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be aware of when we put out new content. And I think I'm going to make my way over to Edwards Air Force Base. So with that, I'll leave it here. Until next time, folks, I hope everybody is keeping well. Cheers, y'all.